What's going on, guys? Sorry for taking so long for the next video, but I've been going back and forth to Houston and Dallas, working 7 days a week, sometimes staying out there in Dallas for a while, and it's just been a real hectic year for me. Um, the thing is, I do have a lot of content for you guys. I have bought some new tools, but I really want to give it a good try out before I even give you my review or give you my 2 cents, because I want to tell you how strong they are they durable, do they hold up. You're gonna spend your money on these tools. They're super expensive. Are they worth the money? Another thing, my old phone where I do videos, it has the video converter on that one, and I really don't want to put it on my new phone because it kind of freezes, stalls your phone and stuff like that. So that's another reason why I don't really want to put it on my new phone. So my old phone's be going on the fritz. It only holds like 1% bar on it. So I'm doing a full skit on my new phone, and so you gotta bear with me. I'm not gonna be able to cut and paste this video. Uh, Today I'm gonna talk about my truck. Last time, I think I told you when it hit 200,000 miles. This time it's at 230,000 miles that I've been taking it back and forth to Dallas. Now, if you look it up, this truck was the worst year for Ram ever. Out of this new generation, it's the worst year. 2012 Ram 1500 has been the worst year. The thing is, I already knew this when I bought this. The main thing about this truck is the lifters and the bearings and the engines. When I bought this truck, I told the dealership, "Can you fix it for me?" And they said they already have fixed it already, or the previous owner fixed it already. I wouldn't tell you to believe the dealership, but I guess it was true because my truck's been running fine ever since. No engine problems at all. Um, the only thing and another problem that I had with it was the radio. Well, not even the radio. It's just whenever I turn off the truck, sometimes it felt like the battery would lose the juice. Something was draining the battery. So I looked it up on YouTube and I looked it up on Google and see what's going on. People said they had to switch out the radio because the radio was drawing too much juice from the battery, even when it's off. The truck is off. So all I do for the last year and a half, before I even step out the truck, I turn off the radio. Now, to you, that might seem like a lot of work. Not to me, because it's running just fine, no problems at all. I just make sure I turn off the radio before I step out the truck. And I really don't have to do that every time, but I just don't want to get stalled out or anything like that. So, I went to the Ram dealership a month ago, and I looked at a 2020 Ram 1500 Limited. Man, let me tell you, that baby was sweet. It was beautiful, and it was a truck that I really wanted. It had the ram boxes on the side where you can store your tools. Right, it's embedded into the trunk bed. So I really wanted it. It had the barn door style tailgate where you could flip it down, or you could open it like a barn door, so it'd be perfect for rocks and sand, so it don't go into the crevices. It had the panoramic sunroof with the big old screen and the dash for the radio. Do I need it? It's gonna be a work truck. Hey, I'm gonna be in this truck all day long. Maybe 7 days out the week. Might as well drive in some comfort, right? But they wanted $60,000 for that truck. Now, when I got my truck, I got it for $15,000. So, it's been working fine for me for 5 years. And usually, I tell people, do not buy a brand new truck because you're gonna dainty it. You're not gonna want to use it for work. People are gonna scratch it and stuff like that. So that's why I tell people, do not buy a new truck if you don't want it to get scratched up at work. Another thing is the same problem I'm gonna have with this truck. I'm not gonna have enough space for tools. So I was thinking about maybe putting the decked storage system in the bed of it, but then also I'm gonna need game boxes and stuff like that. And by the time I add all this stuff up, it's gonna be too high. I'm not gonna be able to open it up because I'm gonna put a ladder rack on it for my ladders. So I'm gonna have the same problem that I have with this truck. And so I really don't want that kind of problem, especially if I'm spending $60,000. So I am gonna buy me a new truck, but since they only offer me $3,000 for trading for my truck, and I already spent $4,000, to maintain it, I kind of like, well, might as well run it to the ground. Once it breaks down, maybe at the end of the year I'll buy me a brand new truck. Well, not brand new, somewhat used, and I'm thinking about getting me a utility truck, with the boxes in the back, just so I can have space for everything. Maybe with a little Cummins engine and stuff like that. So, why have I been so lucky with this truck? Well, preventive maintenance. I've done a lot of maintenance on the truck, and I have a list to tell you guys. So, if we're all working men. We don't want to buy a brand new truck, because then we're paying more for the truck than what they're paying us and stuff like that. And they scratch it, they ding it. It's not a show truck; it's a work truck. So, maybe I'm gonna just give you a list of the stuff that I've installed on the truck over the years, and you can give an idea of what you might want to install in your truck for preventive maintenance. So most of this is all preventative. It's not stuff that broke down. I know it's gonna break down because it happened with my other truck. So the first thing I did was change out the mufflers. Did I have to change it out? It was getting kind of rusty, but my cousin actually bought a truck similar to mine. He bought those mufflers thinking it was gonna be real loud and stuff like that. It wasn't the case. So he kind of gave it to me half off, like, yeah, here, cuz you can have this, half off. Easy to install. Hey, I needed some because it was getting rusty, so I did. Second, I changed out the front hub assemblies, and I just changed it out this year at the beginning of the year. Why? Because it had 200,000 miles, and I'm going back and forth to Dallas, and it happened on my other truck, where my hub assembly went out. So I'm doing all this driving, and I don't want it to stall out on me on the road and get me stuck. But before even that happened, I changed out the ones in the back. Why? Because it actually was leaking oil on the back axle, so I had to change that out. That cost me about $800. Brand new axle and stuff like that, seals and everything like that. So that was the first thing that went out, the real axle seals. So I did change that out. That's the first thing that broke on the truck. I had to change out the spark plugs on the truck, and this truck has 16 spark plugs, and I didn't cheap out. I could have went with the Autolite, where they cost $6, which is still not cheap, because 16 times 5 or 6, it's a lot of money. But I bought the Bosch ones. They were $11 each. 16 times 11, yeah. Then plus somebody, I didn't want to. I wanted to change it out myself, but I was so busy. I have a mechanic friend, and he didn't charge me like $40, and he fixed some other stuff on the truck. The hose broke. The hose broke on the truck. The cooling hose for the radiator, that broke. So I told him, well, knock it out in one day. I'll give you $50. You gotta treat your people good. They're gonna do it. Super easy, whatever. They're not gonna come to your house and do it for cheap. They're wasting gas and stuff like that. Which the spark plug was pretty easy. They didn't. They already had the gap, so you don't have to do anything. Just take out the old ones, put the new ones in. Then I changed out the rack and pinion. Again, the seals broke. It was leaking everywhere, and it's just power steering fluid, but still, you don't want it leaking. It makes you look bad. It makes you look like a junkie or something like that. I'm just saying, the tie rods, that actually I just changed it with the rack and pinion just because I was already there. Might as well change it out. Now this, I actually had a problem with this for a while. My truck was so heavy that it was hitting curves when I was kind of going at a slope, and the bed was like literally laying low, So I changed out the front struts with some Ranchos. And those were expensive, but like I said, I'd rather go a little bit expensive. I think they cost $500 for both. So yeah, that's pretty expensive. I got the back struts. They were what's it called, KY. Those were like $130 each. And then the bump stops, the springs that goes in the back, I changed it up with the Tough Truck. Those cost me like $200, like that. They were expensive. And then with the bump stops, they have the little plastic shims that you can buy. I also got those. The Timken, they were like $100 and something dollars, but they were good quality. Like I said, I'm not gonna cheap out just because this is a truck you use every day, and I don't want it to break on me or anything like that. Because like one time when that coolant hose uh, broke on me, I spent $200 just to tow it to my truck, and I was only 15 minutes away from my house. Uh, I got the battery, alternator, and starter changed out. Now this, I changed it out because the radio was draining the battery. I don't know what it was. So I got me the Optima battery. I got me a brand new alternator. I got me a brand new starter. You know, the works, just so I can know. Later on, I found out that there's the radio draining the battery. But you know, might as well change them out because you might go to AutoZone and say, oh, the warranty on this battery is over with, and stuff like that. So now I got an Ultima battery. I can just go to AutoZone. If this fails on me, I can just change it out because it's brand new. I changed out the radiator hose and the cap, and I changed out the radiator. Just because when I was going to Dallas, it wasn't getting hot. You know, like going to that point where it's beeping at me saying it was hot, but I could see the needle going a little bit more than it should be. It was at 3/4 of the way, so I knew something was wrong. Changed out the radiator. I went back to being regular. The mechanic told me, yeah, you have like holes or bent up, so it was a good idea changing out the radiator. Now the cosmetic stuff, I put a ladder rack, put the front guard, I put the backlight guard, I put all those stuff, but just to protect it. It wasn't like cosmetic. I mean, yeah, they look pretty. I like them, but it's just to protect them and keep them away from traffic. Because I got in accidents already twice with this truck, twice. So luckily it was their fault, and I had to pay out of my pocket. But most of the time, you know, like the front grill guard, whenever they hit me from the front, it was worth it because they could have done a lot of damage. Like I said on my other video, they hit me in my Lexus, and they flipped me over and they left me for dead. So, but luckily for that too, even on my Lexus, I put the tow package just because of that factor. Because they hit the tow package, it took most of the blunt force, and that's what saved me because their engine was actually inside their cab. So yeah, that's how bad the car crash was. So guys, this is the list of what I've done to my truck for the last 5 years. I spent this year $4,000. Most of it I spent it on the tires. I bought those BF Goodrich tires, and I think I told you I'll tell you my opinion on them, and then they've been real good. I've been going back and forth to Dallas. They do take a little bit away from your miles per gallon, but they've been good because over there in Dallas, if you've ever been there, it's very hilly. They got hills everywhere, and they got stuff like you got. How can I say it now without offending people? It's like country ghetto. Like it's a city, but you still got dirt roads and stuff like that, going through medians and stuff like that. It's a little country ghetto. So it's a little hilly, so you can go through stuff, and you're gonna need tires like that, all-terrain tires. Um, would I spend the money again on those BF Goodrich if I got me a brand new truck? Yes, I would. Are they costly? Yes, they are. They cost $2,000. I got them for $1,700 just because I got them on a deal. But yeah, they're very costly. But I will tell you to get them because they will last you for a while. Well, guys, thanks for your time. I'll see you next time.